are back. We have a huge day tomorrow. We are going into town to do a bunch of things, and I have a bunch of chores I need to get done today in order for tomorrow to be a success. As you can see, we are getting more chickens. We processed the previous meat chickens, and we got 5 pounds a piece, fully dressed at 7 weeks. And so we're picking up another 15 more. That way we have enough to last us through the winter. I have a feeder I can put in there, but I don't have feed right now, so I'm not going to deal with that. But one thing I got to do is make a water. And what I'd like to show everybody is how to make a very inexpensive water for the chickens or rabbits or whatever you might have. I actually made one of these for the rabbits. I could have showed you in there just a second ago, but it's more interesting to show you, and so you can kind of get what's going on. So let's get to it. Alright, this is going to be a super easy water. What you need is a good screw-on lid like this on any type of plastic container. We like using these coconut oil jars. And what you're also going to need is a bucket. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be a 5-gallon bucket, but what you want is something that is bigger in diameter than your coconut jar, and then you're also going to want to allow for some space for the animals to get into to drink from. So that's why I use the 5-gallon bucket, so you can see that I do have a big enough gap on that. And because I use this one for target shooting at one point there in the past, I don't need the top half, so what I'm going to do is reuse this one and cut out the bottom half. So what you're going to want to do is make sure, if you're using a 5-gallon bucket or any bucket like that, that you don't just measure from the bottom straight up and think that's where it is, because you do have about a 3/8 lip here before the bottom of the barrel actually starts. So I like to go 3 3/8 up to the top and then cut right around. I actually went 4 inches just to give myself an extra little bit of playroom. Just when I do put this in, I want to make sure that I'm covered on all on the height. So what I'm going to do now is just cut this with anything that really works for you. I'm going to use a Sawzall. I don't recommend it, but you know, that's all I got at the moment. So play it safe out there. Alright, once you've cut that, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's not going on the market or anything. I'm going to clean that out eventually, but I just want to show you how to get this done before I move on to the little finicky work. Once you cut this out, you're going to want to take this jar here, and what you're going to want to do is drill 4 holes on the lip here. So you could go onto the side here, but this is where the height of this comes into play. If you cut this down too short, make sure you don't go up too high, or your water will be overflowing. So if I were to drill this up here, this water level would continue to flow up and out. Now if I drill at the bottom here, this will only fill up until those holes and create the vacuum effect that you see with most feeders. Alright, so I gave the rabbits, obviously, the one I just made, just because it's a little higher up and it's easier for them. And what I'm going to do is use the first one that I made, which is this one, just because it's a little narrow, and the chickens, when they bring them home, they'll be smaller and it'll be easier to get the food. And again, here's my coconut jar that I used on the last one with my hole. So I'll give you a quick little demonstration on how this works. You're going to fill up your container here first. Like so, and then you're going to fill up your coconut jar, or any jar, the jar you're using. So see, this is what I mean. Make sure you don't fill it up too much, because then it starts leaking. So it stops leaking. Put your lid on, and now you got your water in there, and now this is your extra. So I'm going to put that in there, and there you go. This is right to the brim. And this is not emptying itself, because now I've created the vacuum effect and there's nowhere for that water to go. And as the chickens drink, or even the rabbits drink their water, it'll start filling up itself until the water's out. But it's just one way to last a little longer, so you're not coming out all the time and feeding your animals or giving them water or whatever, because time is valuable, and last thing you want to do is come out every hour and check the water on the animals. So this is a nice, quick, cheap water that you can make with minimal products. It's cheap. You don't have to make or pay exorbitant amount of money. That way, if it breaks, you don't feel bad about throwing it out, and you're reusing things that you have around the homestead. So hopefully you got lots out of this video.